Hello there, this is Pastor Jeff. It is Tuesday, October 6, 2020, and we are reading through our daily lectionary. We use the semi-continuous readings. Our psalm reading is Psalm 119, 49 through 56. Deuteronomy chapter 5, verses 22 through chapter 6, verse 3. And then our New Testament reading is 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 17 through 21. Here are readings for the day. Psalms 119, 49 through 56. Remember what you said to me, your servant. I hang on to these words for dear life. These words hold me up in bad times. Yes, your promises rejuvenate me. The insolent ridicule me without mercy, but I don't budge from your revelation. I watch for your ancient landmark words, and I know that I'm on the right track. But when I see the wicked ignore your directions, I'm beside myself with anger. I set your instruction to music and sing them as I walk this pilgrim way. I meditate on your name all night, God, treasuring your revelation, O God. Still, I walk through a rain of derision, because I live by your word and counsel. Our Old Testament reading today is Deuteronomy chapter 5, verse 22, and extends through chapter 6, verse 3. Hear these words. These are the words that God spoke to the whole congregation at the mountain. He spoke in a tremendous voice from the fire and the cloud and dark mist. And that was it. No more words. Then he wrote them on 2 slabs of stone and gave them to me. As it turned out, when you heard the voice of that dark cloud and saw the mountain on fire, you approached me, all the heads of your tribes and your leaders, and said, Our God has revealed to us his glory and greatness. We've heard him speak from the fire today. We've seen that God can speak to humans and they can still live. But why risk it further? This huge fire will devour us if we stay around any longer. If we hear God's voice anymore, we'll die for sure. Has anyone ever known of anyone who has heard the voice of God the way that we have and lived to tell the story? From now on, you go and listen to what God, our God, says, and then tell us what God tells you. We'll listen and we'll do it. God heard what you said to me and told me. I've heard what the people said to you. They're right, good and true words. What I wouldn't give if they'd always feel this way, continuing to revere me and always keep my commandments. They've had a good life forever, they and their children. Go ahead and tell them to go home to their tents. But you stay here with me so I can tell you every commandment and all the rules and regulations that you must teach them so that they will know how to live in the land that I'm giving to them as their own. So be very careful to act exactly as God commands you. Don't veer off to the right or to the left. Walk straight down the road God commands so that you'll have a good life and live a long time in the land that you are about to possess. This is the commandment, the rules and the regulations that God, your God, commanded me to teach you to live out in the land you're about to cross into to possess. This is so that you'll live in deep reverence before God lifelong, observing all his rules and regulations that I'm commanding you, you and your children and your grandchildren, living good, long lives. Listen obediently, Israel. Do what you're told so that you'll have a good life, a life of abundance and bounty, just as God promised, in a land abounding in milk and honey. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verses 17 through 21 is our New Testament reading. Because of this decision, we don't evaluate people by what they have or how they look. We looked at the Messiah the way once and go for it wrong. As you know, we certainly don't look at him that way anymore. Now we look inside. And what we see is anyone united with the Messiah gets a fresh start, created new. The old life is gone. A new life burgeons. Look at it. All this comes from the God who settled the relationship between us and him, and then called us to settle our relationship with each other. God put the world square with himself through the Messiah, giving the world a fresh start by offering a forgiveness of sin. God has given us the task of telling everyone what he is doing. We're Christ's representatives. God uses us to persuade men and women to drop their differences and enter into God's work of making them right between them. We're speaking for Christ himself now. Become friends with God. He's already a friend with you. How, you ask? In Christ, God put the wrong on him who did nothing wrong, so that we could be put right with God. And here ends our 3 readings for the day.